Yo, what's up, dogs? I am back once again with another movie review, and this time we are going to talk about Odessa, which I found on Disney Plus as a Stars original. So I thought, let's check it out because I saw the trailer and it looked interesting when I saw the trailer. So let's see if it lives up to the hype. And before we get into that, I'm obviously going to spoil things in this movie. Hopefully, not a lot, but I am going to spoil some things. And with that, we are going to do the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we're going to start right now with the good. So, this is what I liked about the movie, okay? And there's some other things in here that I will probably remember as I talk about this film. But I liked the post apocalyptic world. It's this very colorful 80s. Everyone's very androgynous in here. There's a lot of cowboy imagery as well. And it's kind of grungy and dirty and grimy. And it's just like a really weird, colorful mess in a sense, that's just weird. The whole movie is weird, and there's a lot of imagery in here, lots of all-seeing eye stuff, MK Ultra, hypnosis, propaganda, mind control, Illuminati references. Like there's a lot of stuff that's going into this movie, you know what I'm saying? And overall, just the whole world that they created, that Odessa lives in, is a very bleak futuristic world, right? Because it's like all that's left is just one city called Satellite City, and that is the last of pretty much humanity. And around Satellite City, there are like little farmhouses and stuff that farm plasma. And I believe the plasma is used to run the pyramid out in the ocean that's surrounded by poisonous water. And and this pyramid, which has a giant eye on it, is ran by Plutonovich, and he's like our main villain, right? And he is controlling the masses, so to speak, through this television show called The One. And The One itself is this American Idol or America's Got Talent type of show where his henchman Neon Dion brings contestants to the show that's obviously wronged and stood up against the Plutonovich, so to speak, or rebels of sorts, and they have to go on the show and perform for him. And if he doesn't like the performance, you're most likely going to die, and it's pretty much death no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And that is how he controls these people and keeps them brainwashed. And there's also a drug element in this movie as well too. And that's kind of the world that Odessa's in right now. She lives in the farm, so to speak, and she wants to leave this farm. And that's also built up in like the first 10-20 minutes of this movie, which I really enjoyed actually, because we learn about Odessa, we learn about her family, her father and her mother, and how come they are these plasma farmers. And Odessa has the gift of music. It runs in her bones because her father was a musician and her mother can sing too. And this is where it lends into the first song of the movie, which tells you that this is a musical. I wasn't actually expecting this to be a musical, but this is like a classic musical where it's story, music that goes with the story and drives it along. Like it has that. If you're into musicals, you might like this movie. But I'm not a big musical fan, and I was like, we'll get to the bad. Um, but yeah, the first like 20 minutes of this movie, I was like really into it. I liked just what they were presenting me, right? And I liked the history of this family that Odessa comes from. And her father tells her that she's a prophecy, she's the seventh son. And with this responsibility, eventually someday she will get old enough where she has to sing a song that's going to be so powerful that it's going to change the course of humanity and waken them from their slumber of this comatose state that they are currently in under the Plutonovich reign of terror, so to speak. And with that, she is gifted eventually the guitar of her father, which is the Willa. And there's like the whole opening scene is really good. Okay, I really enjoyed it because there's some really good cinematography in this opening scene too, and I just really liked it. I really did. And then her mother passes away, and she gets the family ring, which was the wedding ring from her mother, and so she takes that with her, and she gets the guitar from her father's grave, and there's just like a lot of good things going on in this movie at that point in time. And she picks up like her mother passes away, obviously, so she can leave, and then she goes on this quest, and that's where the movie from that point on, as soon as she leaves the farmhouse to go on the quest, I feel like the entire movie just goes downhill after that. And I also just wanted to add into the good that I really liked was Regina Hall as Neon Dion, right? And her character is just the muscle of Satellite City. Like she is the boss, and she's second in command to Plutonovich, and she is, like I said, the boss. She runs the brothel burlesque bar, and nothing goes on in that town without her knowing it. And she owns, I would say, musicians and talent. We'll call them talent. She owns talent because they do all things that are talented: music, sexual, all of it. That's what they do for Neon Dion. And if you get out of line, she will beat the crap out of you. And she's just like a cool character design too. And she has these cool brass knuckles that are electric. And when she turns them on, it's like says Neon Dion, and she'll like electrocute you with them. Really cool character, a really cool vibe about her, and she is a menace. And you actually feel like when she comes on the screen, you're like, oh no, Neon Dion's here. Like they actually built her up nicely where you're like, oh, here's a threat. However, they do her dirty in the bad. So let's get to the bad now. This is all that's good. The rest of the movie is absolutely horrible. I'm telling you, it's not. It's not a good time after this point. So here, let's get to the bad. Okay, they don't really explain why this earth is the way it is and how it came to be. Like, I don't even remember them saying it dropped a nuke or something like that. Like, I misremember why this earth is, right? And why Plutonovich is in charge. Like, I totally feel like I glossed over that or I missed it. I don't know. But I have to be honest with you, the rest of this movie is just a hot mess. Like, it's just it feels really disjointed, and I think it's because of the musical elements that you kind of like so many things are just being thrown in all at once, and it just becomes a very messy quest and story and fairy tale. You know, because this movie tries to be like use a lot of fairy tale tropes, but I feel like it just gets bogged down and it's just a big, huge mess. And there is a love story in this movie that kind of drives things along, but the love story is rushed and it feels unwarranted. And she has this love interest with a character named Yuri, who's played by Calvin Harrison, and she meets him at the burlesque bar saloon thing that Neon Dion runs, and he's a singer and he sings like more of the poppy songs, and Odessa kind of falls for him and eventually saves him from a midnight stranger or caller, we could say, and they befriend each other and then eventually just bang, and all within like 5 to 10 minutes of meeting each other. And I was just like, what is this? This is like, what kind of love story is this, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I don't get it. But they sleep with each other. It's implied, and you're just like, oh, so what? And it's just so fast. Like they have this relationship, and now you follow these two characters for the rest of the movie, pretty much. And I just feel like the love scene came way too early and was unjustified when the love scene should have probably came a little bit later in the movie, so we could have spent more time with this relationship being actually built up instead of 5 minutes of meeting and befriending and then banging, when it should have been maybe like 30 minutes and a couple of things that happen along the way to warrant the banging. Because like even Yuri saves her sort of from Neon Dion, right? She hides it. Like there's things that happen where it's like it's just weird, right? And I feel like this just like they just had things out of order when it comes to a proper love story, you know what I'm saying? And even the ending of this movie with this love story is absolutely absurd. So, we'll get to, and like there's like I forgot to mention that like the Willa, her guitar gets stolen from her and she has to get it back. And like she tries to get it back, but she can't afford it. And so she has to be a busker and she uses the power of music to sort of earn some money. And you kind of learn of her abilities in that way. And I actually feel like that was a bad sequence as well because it just was like, this is dumb. It like there's just some of the musical elements are just like this is dumb. What part of the quest is this? And then eventually she can't even make enough money, but Yuri buys the guitar for her. So it's like, well, why did she even do the busking when she couldn't raise the money herself? But Yuri's had the money this whole time, and he like takes that quest from her. You know what I'm saying? It just is like, here you go, finished. And I thought that was kind of dumb because like that kind of takes away from the character building that she's trying to build. Because we're trying to build a credible character here, a credible hero that's going to defeat Plutonovich, right? And she's going to defeat Neon Dion as well. And you want to build this credibility. And there's certain things that just happen that don't happen for her, you know? And so Yuri tries to save Odessa from Neon Dion because Neon Dion wants to kill her. And he's like, pushes her away like old Yeller style, like, go, boy, get away from me. It's too dangerous for you. You're going to die. And Odessa doesn't want that to happen. She loves Yuri. So she's like, I'm going to save you, right? And so she tries it. And it's also an unwarranted thing. Like, it doesn't make sense. A lot of the things that happen in this movie just don't make sense story wise and character wise. Um, because they should have ran off together or something. But he needs to be put into danger. So he shouts off and says, like, down with Plutonovich and all this jazz. So he is going to get put on the one by Neon Dion. Neon Dion ships him away, right, to the island. So Odessa's like, I gotta save Yuri now, and it's such as like it's just so bad the pacing from this in this movie. A lot of the time, you're just all over the place. And I totally forgot there's a wedding scene. I put that in here. Yeah, that's dumb. I wrote that down. The wedding scene is absolutely stupid. And when you watch it, you'll understand. It gives off Dennis Rodman vibes, which is hilarious because when I was watching it, I'm like, this is just Dennis Rodman in a wedding dress, but it's a red wedding dress. Anyways, that doesn't matter. It's stupid. I'm just saying there's a lot of stupid things that go on in this movie that make absolutely like no sense for the character development of our hero Odessa. And I also just want to point out here, um, she fights Neon Dion and she beats Neon Dion at the cost of her finger. So it's the one of these fingers, and she can't like she had like I was sitting there, I'm like, how could she play a song on the guitar when that's her like fret line, right? And this is an important finger. So shouldn't she go on a quest to learn how to play the guitar now? Because like to relearn the guitar and like get the slider, you know those metal sliders that go on guitars? Like maybe she could have got some mystical slider that would help her play, and because like that happens. It's so dumb. Yeah, I should have put the dumb in this as well. I didn't. So anyways, it doesn't matter. I was just sitting there. I'm like, there needs to be another quest here, but this movie's already an hour 55 minutes long, so let's not add that in there, right? And there's like a story beat in this movie with the wedding scene where she is going to marry Yuri, and I forget why they put this in there, but I think it's mostly to reveal that her mother's wedding ring is the seventh string to the guitar, and she finds out that that is a guitar string and it goes on the Willa. And I'm sitting there when I'm watching this, I'm like, wait a minute. Wouldn't she know the entire time that this guitar is missing a seventh string because it would have a seventh knob at the top where you would tune it? And she would have been like, oh, this guitar only has six strings. Why did I never have a seventh string ever, ever, ever? But then she figures out that this one string is this magical string from her mom's wedding ring, and then she strings it up on the guitar, and now she could play a seventh string song. And it's like, well, what in the lore is that? Like, you do question a lot of things that go on in this movie. And then the wedding scene itself is absolutely dumb because there's dumb things that happen in that wedding scene, and you're like, why is this character here all of a sudden? I thought he was a minor villain, but he's here. It's dumb. And I just also want to point out that the Plutonovich character does not who's played by Murray Bartlett, who does not he doesn't come across as a threat at all in this movie. You barely see him in this movie. He's in clips, like little minor clips, like commercials and stuff like that for the one, and you see little things about him, but he's not an actual like main villainous character doing villainous things all the time to Odessa. He doesn't even know Odessa even exists until the very end. The last 20 minutes is when you get to hang out with Plutonovich, and you don't really understand his why and his motivations for what he's doing and why he's controlling the people the way he is. And he literally just kind of whiffs it off by saying, oh, if I stop, the people will have nothing to live for, or something like that. It was like some stupid thing, I forget, but it was just absolutely dumb. And I'm just like, how can I believe that this guy's even a villain? I believed in Neon Dion being more of a villain than Plutonovich. But anyways, I digress. I digress. So I just want to get to the ending of this movie, okay? Because it's absolutely done, and it'll be the end of the review after I'm done this talking about the end of this film. So you watch this entire movie for an hour 30 minutes, right? And you get to the end of this film where she confronts Plutonovich and says she will trade herself for the life of Yuri because she's there to save Yuri. And Plutonovich goes, all right, you can play your song for the life of Yuri. And he goes and cuts six of the guitar strings off the guitar and leaves the seventh one, the magical one, alone, right? And they cut to a commercial break, which really kills the whole flow of the movie. And like the ending is really absolutely stupid. And she gets back to playing, and she plays her song, okay? And it's the final song. It's the song that wakes up the people, so to speak. And when she finishes playing, Plutonovich deems her as the one. She wins. She's the one. But it comes at a cost, which makes absolutely no sense for this movie, because when she finally gets, like, Yuri is saved, they do a reveal of the, like, she's going to kiss him, and they take the veil off of him, and he has a different face, like they mutated him. um I think they called it like face swap or something. Like, it was something so random and bizarre. I was like, what the heck is this? Like, why'd they do this to him? And it was just like a whole, like, psych, you don't get what you want. And then Odessa like, um loses her shit, so to speak, takes the Willa and stabs it or smashes it against the all-seeing eye at the top of this pyramid structure, and it resets the mind control device of the whole world. So first of all, you're like, did the song matter at all? And then you're sitting there going, well, did the love story matter at all? And then everything is okay at the end, except for, like, it's it's just like, it's just so dumb. The ending of this movie is absolutely dumb because the world starts healing itself. The plasma is no longer, the earth is starting to regrow trees and plants again. The humans are free from this mind control. Odessa and Yuri, we have no clue what happens to Yuri. I assume he dies because the love story is over, and it ends with one of the side characters, Roach, playing a song at Odessa's, at a not at Odessa's house because she burned it down, but at a farmhouse in the outskirts, right? So you don't know what happened to Odessa. You don't know what happens to Yuri. You don't know what happens to Plutonovich. You just assume that everyone died on that pyramid out in the ocean, the poisonous ocean, and that's the end of the movie. And it's just such a weird freaking movie, man. I swear, the ending is so dumb. You watch an hour and 40 minutes of this just to get to that ending, and you're just like, what a waste of my time. Like, you don't even get a true happy ending with, like, Odessa actually saving Yuri and them living happily ever after in this new world that Odessa created for them, right? Like, why didn't we have a happy ending? Like, it's still a happy ending because the earth is saved and all, and but I'm just like, man, what a stupid ending. Yeah, it's a waste, man. I'm telling you guys, what a waste. Because it has the potential, and that's the downside to the whole film. Is like, I was really invested in the. I was like, this has some really cool, interesting things going on, but then it's just all wasted. It just all goes downhill, and it just, what a waste of an hour and 55 minutes for me. I don't know about you guys, but I wish I could not. Like, I'm not even going to remember this movie when in a week from now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like right up there with Electric State. Like, I've already forgotten about that film. I'll review that eventually. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this movie. It's a streamer. Stream it if you like. Don't even waste your time. Stream it if you want to, if you want to. But I'm telling you that you can do something better with your 2 hours. Just watch my review and then go, yeah, okay, I get you, Brett. We're good. Peace. Anyways, on that note, my friends, that's it from me. Leave a like, hit the comment section below. Tell me what you think about Odessa. I'm out. It's Thursday. I got to go to work tomorrow and I'm working all weekend. So I'm going to try my best not to work too hard, just like you guys aren't. So, peace out, everybody. Oh, yeah, hit the subscribe button and a notification bell, too. I'm out of here, guys. Bye.